Hi there, Joka here from A Pocket Full of Happiness, and I want to show you the products in today's release, starting with this stem set here called For Mum. This has a few flowers, some leaves, branches, and a bunch of sentiments all about Mother's Day and our love for our mums. So when I designed this stem set, I have a particular image in my mind, which is the one on the left. And this one is a one layer card. So you would need a lot of masking for this. And I did this sample card actually. And the other one next to it, there you don't need masking, because obviously you can use this stem set also without masking if that's not your thing. But I did try to create both of these cards, and if you will notice on the website that there's two options. You can buy just the stem set, or you can buy a stamp and cut file bundle, where the cut file has 3 sets of cut files, one for kind of like coordinating dies would work. Since I don't have coordinating dies, you can cut out those shapes and then stamp on them, and then basically you can create dimensional cards. So you could create this card on the left maybe easier. Then there is a set of cut files that would work with stencil material, so it's a bit smaller in size. I did create this card with that. I cut it out from stencil material, but it's not perfect. It did not work perfectly, although for this card it was still okay. However, there's a couple of little or a bunch of little spots there where it didn't quite stamp so well, but it doesn't bother me that much. However, there's another stamp set in this release where it was not working so well. I will show that in a bit. So I also created a set of cut files that is the exact same size as the stamps, and you can use that with thinner paper like post-it paper, or I personally use Gina K's Masking Magic to create those masks, and it worked the best because it's super thin. So when I had 3 layers of masks, I could actually stamp the images perfectly well, which I couldn't do with the stencil material because it's super thick. So I just wanted you to know, when you look at the shop, you will see 2 options, and this is something new. So yeah, I create these images on the back of the packaging just to get your ideas going. Just some ideas what you can create with the stem set, but obviously there's many ways you can use it. So that's all the important information you have to know about this stem set. Now, moving on to the next one. This is called For Dad. Obviously, when I created the other stem set, I felt like I need to create one for inspired by my dad and my boyfriend. They both are huge fans of beer. So I thought, well, look, I don't even have more than probably one stem set for men. So this is for our fathers and the men in our lives. So it's quite similar to the other one in that this also has like a paper bag that you can fill with beer and all these goodies, but obviously you can also use it for a lot of different designs, and it has a lot of sentiments, and some of them are funny, some of them are beer related, some of them are more serious. So these are the two card samples that I put on the packaging. Again, the one on the left is similar to the For Mom stamp set, and here is the other card that is just a fun pattern in all kinds of colors. So yeah, you can create totally different style cards with this stamp set. So as I mentioned before, I created some cut files for this. This particular card that I'm holding, this is the third time that I created it, because I was testing what the masking would work with better. And this one here is using the Gina K masking magic, and I found that this worked the best. Here, the images are not so everything is visible. Everything has quite sharp edges. This one here was the first one that I stamped, and I used stencil material for the mask, and as you can see, there's a lot of white edges around it, and it just didn't look great, and it was actually quite a nightmare to create. It took ages. Sometimes I had 3 layers of stencil material, so it was really hard to work with it. Now this one, I also used Gina K masking magic, but I cut it smaller than the images, and because of that I had a lot of overlap, and there was no definition between the images. So this is why I tried if it works if I just outlined everything with a black marker. But again, this was not my favorite look, so that's why I created the third set of cut files, which is the same size as the stamps. So if you use a very thin paper for masks, like the masking magic or post-it paper or whatever you normally use, this one worked better for me anyway. So yeah, this was a bit of a trial and error, but I really wanted to make this work. So you can buy two different, so you have two options, just like in the previous case. You can buy just the stamp set, or you can buy the stamp and cut file bundle. And then you will have those three different set of cut files. And I'm also writing like a comment there with each set of cut files, which one is for what. Oh yeah, the third one is the same as for the mom set, is that you can create your die cut pieces with it. So you can die cut those out and then stamp the images, so you can create dimensional cards. This is another example. It's simpler than the previous one, so you can create really clean and simple cards with this. And this one was also created with masking technique, but it's a lot more simple than the first card. And yeah, of course, there you normally would see the head of the person who's carrying this, but yeah, details, imperfections. I just only thought about it later, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's it for the stamp set. And I should have I stamped out all the sentiments. I hope I will find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so these are the sentiments in the stamp set. There are some funny ones, like where is that one? Like you've always been the coolest, like all those times you said yes when mom said no. I think we can all relate to that. I'm pretty sure that I did that many times, you know. Then there is no matter what life throws at you, at least you don't have ugly children. But then there are also some that are on the more serious side, like that's our most ordinary men turned by love into heroes, adventurers, storytellers, and singers of song. That is a quote by Pam Brown. And of course, there's some beer related ones, say water, drink beer, or happy beer day. So, yeah, you can find whatever works for you. All right, so next up is actually a customer request. Um, this is all about birthdays. It's called It's Your Party, and it has all kinds of sentiments. Again, some traditional ones, some that you can, like this one here, party animal, or it's your party. You can kind of mix and match. And there's some other ones here that you can feel the belated in. So, like sending you belated birthday wishes, or you can just say sending you birthday wishes, or happy belated birthday, or happy birthday. But then there's also a bunch of happy birthdays that are not cut apart. So you can just, if you don't want to bother lining those up, then you can use those. And here I stamped them out. You can check these on the website to see all the sentiments. And again, there are some here that are more traditional. And there are some funny ones like this here. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. Then in this card, I'm going to share the secret to staying young. And then inside the card, you can stamp lie about your age. So this one here, it's nice to have a friend to grow old with. You go first. So yeah, there are a few favorites of mine, like this one here, to someone who wasn't welcome to the world via tweet or status update, which nowadays seems to be the case. Or this one, excuse me. May your Facebook wall be filled with messages from people you never talk to. This is so true in my case. I'm sure many of you can relate to this. Then there are some more traditional ones, and like make a wish, celebrating you, then birthday girl, birthday boy. And then there is one that I really, really like. That was a recommendation from my customer, Cue the Confetti. I really like that. Then there's this, you're in mint condition for a vintage model. So yeah, there's, I hope it's full of sentiments that cover all your needs, whether you want to send a funny card or just a more traditional one. Now, next up is a background stamp called Spring Meadow Background. And this is a fun floral pattern, a large stem set that you are used to it from me. And then there is a bunch of spring related sentiments. So here I just stamped the background in 3 different colors, and then I lined them up at the top so they kind of look more organic, that they are lined up here. Yeah, they are very simple cards. I just really like background patterns and stamps. So these are, by the way, cut files that I created just to, I just like creating dimensional projects, but I don't have any dies. So I created a bunch of cut files just for this, but these will not be available, at least for the moment. And yeah, this is a spring related sentiment: where flowers bloom, so does hope. Then yeah, these are I stamped them out so you can see them better. It's not very easy to see them on the acetate. So just simple spring greetings, or spring is nature's way of saying let's party. Sunshine is the best medicine, the magic in new beginnings, and I cannot see it anymore. I'm sorry, but all these pictures are available on the website, so you can check if you are interested. Then next up is another stamp set that you can build a background with. This is the Argyle Pattern Builder. This works similarly to previous stamp sets that I had in previous releases. They don't. This will not stamp a full background. You will have to stamp the pattern twice. And here again, I have some samples how it will look. This one on the left is just a standard Argyle pattern, and then on the right I just played around with placement, if you can create some other fun patterns with this. And then I created 2 cards with those kind of patterns. And then this sentiment here is from the For That stamp set, and this one here is from the For Mom stamp set. And here you can see these flowers are also from that set, and this is what I was talking about, that there's a cut file set that you can use to create these dimensional embellishments, so to say. Of course, the edges are not going to be nice like they would be with the coordinating dies, but you know, when I don't have coordinating dies, I have to make do with what I have. So next up is another background pattern. This one is called Tribal Pattern Background. It's a simple background design, but I just really like surface patterns. I like tribal, Aztec, all kinds of designs in clothing, and so I thought it would be nice to have a stamp. And then all these sentiments are kind of friends related, my tribe, and so I did not have time to create cards with these, but I just stamped them, stamped these panels so you can see what it looks like. This one is actually embossed. I used the Wow embossing powder for this. That is actually called Aztec glints, so I thought that would be fun. So on the packaging, there is an example that I will show you in a second, but first I want to show the sentiments here up close. So you are my people. Even at my worst, I'm best with you. Friends are the family we choose ourselves. Thanks for being part of my tribe. Good heart, strong spirit, kind soul, true friend. I will always have your back, and true friends are always together in spirit. It's a good time to remember our friends and send them cards, I think. I haven't seen my closest friends in forever. One only lives 2 kilometers from me, and I haven't seen her since January. So yeah, it's a good time to do this. So this is what I wanted to say. On the right side, you see a pattern that looks a bit different. So what I did there is I stamped this. I used the stamp one way, and then I turned it around upside down, and then I stamped it again, well, digitally, but and I haven't tried it yet, but it will work the same way. So you can just play around with this. You can get different patterns, so you can stretch your supplies a little bit. All right, then next up, I have something new to show you. This one is a stencil set, and it's called Chevron Pattern Builder. You know already that I love pattern building, and I like when I can add more colors to my projects than just one. So I try to find a way to do that. And you can see here, if you at that angle, that it will build a chevron pattern. So those are the three stencils, and if you use them or layer them over each other, then you'll have that pattern. All right, so I quickly, because I literally just got these today, I quickly created some samples here. Don't look at the colors, they are absolutely awful, but I had them on my desk from a previous project, and I thought that this is the quickest way to create some samples. So yeah, maybe this one is still okay, but the colors just look like I don't know, some sports team, or I will not turn these into cards, but maybe they are okay if your favorite sports team has these colors or something. And here on the third one, I used embossing. It's not perfect because I did some mistakes there, but I really like the fact that you can add just touches of embossing powder, or you can add foil or texture paste, or sky's the limit. A lot of different things you can try with this. And of course, you don't have to build the whole pattern. You can also just use one stencil, and that also just gives you fun little accents on other backgrounds. I will be playing with this, hopefully soon. I will have some projects to show you, but for now I just quickly wanted to show you how this pattern works. Now, the mistake I did here was to use the embossing powder first, and for that I had to remove the panel from where I was working with it, from my stamping tool. And it's not a problem, because as you can see here, you can see through the stencil easily, and you can see the edge around it, around the shapes, and so you can kind of wing it. You can see how much white there is around them, so you don't even need an alignment aid for this. But normally, if I don't have the stamping tool, which I will show in a second, I could just mark the corners here, so I can align everything. But also these holes are there for that purpose, so you can mark where your stencil is and then align the next one up with this. But honestly, I would just mark the corner, or what I do normally, but maybe not everybody has a stamping tool like that. This is just the bottom of my stamping tool, and then I can put the stencil in that corner. I don't even need washi tape to fix it or anything. I just take the panel and I line it up however I want to, and I also add some temporary adhesive to fix that in place, and then it's just not gonna move. And then I just layer the next stencil over it. It's always perfect. So the mistake I did on that card is that for the embossing, I had to remove it, so I couldn't put it back in place. Yeah, and also that embossing powder is not really for this purpose. It has some bigger white pieces in it, so it's not all straight, but it doesn't bother me, so it's fine. Anyway, these were just quick examples. I will create more examples in future videos. I hope you like this new product and the whole release. Thank you very much for watching, and happy shopping. Bye bye.